lived a lot of life in that a year and 4 months.
So I have.
A lot of life updates. I think that maybe we should get into to start.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, life updates. So you said November?
November 2023. I mean,
Right.
I think there's two major points, obviously.
Two major for sure. Yes.
The
So
first being the engagement and then the wedding that happened during the fall. So let's start there.
Yeah.
October 2024?
yeah,
was the
October
marriage?
2024 was the marriage. I would have gotten engaged a couple months before that interview in August of 2023. So then we did a relatively quick turnaround. If you've ever gone through the wedding process, you know, a year and a couple months is relatively quick. So yeah, got married October 4th, 2024. A couple months ago at this point. Obviously been going very, very well. And then I guess that kind of moves us into the next little phase there of bought a house.
Breaking news.
Breaking news, bought a house, pending inspection, got the radon test today. We'll have some quotes. We got to fix some windows and stuff like that. But yeah, everything's really going well with it. Initial inspection came back really well. So.
And where are you? You're going from Lakewood to where are you going now?
Lakewood to Berea. I'm literally going to be right next to the Cleveland airport there. So we'll have planes flying over the house 24/7. But growing up not far from the Canton airport, not something I'm not used to. So should be all right.
What in regard to the wedding day?
Yeah.
Obviously that's you can speak better to this than I would be able to at this point in my life, but I believe the wedding ceremony and everything in terms of that is always obviously to cater to the female in the relationship,
For sure.
or whatever anyone else is doing out there in the public. But in your situation specifically, a ton of planning goes into that. The dates, the flowers, the food, the arrangements, the band, the reception. What went the most wrong on your wedding day?
On the wedding day.
Like, was there anything that was like not a disaster, but you're like, wow, that is not how we anticipated that to go?
Yeah, there's only one thing really, and it could have been not. It could have not happened if we just had a little bit of planning on our end. So the wedding song coming down the aisle, like the procession of everyone coming down the aisle, the song ran out with like 5 more groups to come through. So people were just walking
like the
down.
wedding party's coming down.
Yeah, the wedding party's coming down. There's no music playing. The DJ unfortunately did not loop the song. Like I said, a little bit of planning. If we would have just realized how long it would have taken. See, what we didn't budget for was like the grandparents walking down, and like it was a little bit soggy out, so like they walked real slow getting down the aisle, just making sure everything went well, which obviously totally understandable. But so we didn't budget in that in the time frame. So then, like I said, there's a couple groups walking down the aisle with just no music whatsoever, and kind of people were kind of looking around at that point. But if that's the worst thing that happens on your wedding day, I think you had a great wedding day. So
yeah, I mean it's tough to complain if the worst part is like preemptory.
Yeah, for sure.
Preempting music.
Yeah.
What about what was your first dance song?
First dance song was, I believe it's Clinton Kane, I Guess I'm in Love.
Are you still guessing, or do you know?
No, I for sure know by now. That's the good news. Yeah, I Guess I'm in Love. It's actually a really good song, really good wedding dance song, in my opinion, first dance song. That's kind of what we were talking about a little bit off air here, is how many songs you have to pick out. It's crazy. You have to have a song for your first dance, for the cake cutting, for the mom and son, the daughter and dad, daughter and mom, what we did. Literally every little thing, procession, recession, everyone needs a song. Every little, the bridal party coming into the reception needs a song. You need a separate song for when you come into the wedding reception. It's insane. Yeah.
What about the reception playlist? Did you give the DJ like, here's a list of 100 songs, play them?
Yeah.
And like that's what you're playing, or were you like, you have free reign to
No,
do what
yeah,
you want.
yeah. So what we did, and I highly recommend it, is just giving the DJ what you want to hear. So we had like transition songs out of like certain
Okay.
styles. So like
In-depth.
we started with like music everyone would enjoy, and then kind of got into like the rock a little bit, and then transitioned out of the rock into the rap, and kind of like that way. So I mean, we just play this entire playlist in order. That's exactly what we want to hear, and that's the good thing is you know what you're gonna hear. You know it's gonna be the music that you want on your wedding day, and you don't have to guess what you're gonna hear. We gave like the DJ like a certain list of like family members, and the bridal party could request songs, but nobody else was requesting songs. It's it's your day, so you want to hear what you want to hear.
Yeah, it's your day, without question. And so we're moving from, how long did you guys live in Lakewood?
So I would have moved into the apartment in Lakewood around May or June of 2023, and then we'll be moving out
almost 2 years.
almost 2
by
years.
the time you get moved in, and
For
everything.
sure. Yeah. So almost 2 years in that apartment. It was a small apartment, but it worked for what we needed to. It was cheap rent and in a good location. So kind of just that bridge area. We knew we were going to buy a house in the area at some point. So just kind of bridged it between then. So.
And you're going from apartment to full-fledged house.
Apartment to full-fledged house. Yeah. A lot more space. That was the big thing is the apartment was great, but there was just no space. And not even like living together space, but like storage. We just had no storage. Eventually things just got put in the middle of the living room because there's nowhere else to put it type of deal. So yeah, excited for all the storage we'll have.
Yeah, what about like a yard? Are you gonna be mowing the yard?
So there's included in like the HOA, there's like they'll mow the lawn for us, which is nice.
Okay.
I mean, we don't have a huge yard, so I could have just mowed the lawn.
Yeah.
I was kind of excited about like owning the house, being proud about your lawn type of deal. But if somebody will pay it once a week, if we just pay them to pay it, I guess that works too.
Yeah, it's easier that way. And then they probably do like snow removal.
Yep, exactly. Yep,
like
in the
that,
winter
so.
they do snow removal as well, so it works out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's obviously enjoyable. I think. In terms of life, I think that the marriage, the house, that's the two major things I thought would be nice to talk about off the rip. Some great news in terms of how you've been living the last 2 years.
Very exciting. Yes.
In terms of, I guess where we are at now with DeliverThat, November 2023, you would have been. Were you still marketing in like a little bit of dispatch capacity back then? Do you remember?
I believe towards the end of 23, I would have been transitioning out of like the operations department.
Right.
So my foot would have been in it a little bit. I think I went full force into the marketing
Lindsay
department.
got brought on around that time,
November 23 too. Yeah. So I think right when she brought on is kind of like when I transitioned full-time marketing, and we tried to have a little run at a actual department there for a little bit.
Yeah. That was the beginnings of something new for sure. And then nowadays, so obviously you've always been the social guy. We'll call it that. In terms of the posting, the reactions, the commenting, the DMs. If you're talking to us on socials, Nate's your guy. So if you want to prop them up, if you want to be mad at someone, I would prefer it be Nate in all scenarios. But what does that look like for you now on a day-to-day basis? I know obviously we're posting a lot more lately, and we're obviously making content a lot more geared towards these platforms more specifically.
For sure.
So what has that been like for you?
It's been good. Obviously like day-to-day basis, we're trying to get the post scheduled out as far as possible. So ideally, if I don't have to be posting the content the day of, that's where we want to be. We want to be pushing that out as far as possible. Comments, DMs, everything like that. We get a few questions here and there every day or something like that. Just respond to those. As far as like gearing the content specifically to the platforms, I think our numbers are showing that that's working out a lot better. Obviously we kind of just had like a whole bucket approach, moving from end of 23 throughout the entirety of 2024. Kind of just we had talked about it internally, like maybe this is something we should be doing, but I would say end of 2024, beginning of 2025 is really when we went full-fledged into, all right, we understand our audience a lot better. Our drivers are on Instagram, our partners and future partners are on LinkedIn. It's just separating out that content. So you'll see a lot more of like the would you take these deliveries, the come take a delivery with us, hey drivers, what's up type of content on Instagram. And then we're really trying to have a lot more of restaurant focused, industry focused. How can we help these restaurants improve their catering operations content on LinkedIn?
Yeah, and you and I, you mentioned like the would you take this and take a delivery series we've kind of been doing. You and I, to start this year, we have taken a lot of deliveries together.
We have. We've been on the road a lot, whether it's locally or going to new cities, new towns. It's been fun.
Yeah, and you've been at the helm of a lot of those videos, getting some FaceTime. When we've gone out, obviously we've tailed drivers. We've done it, you and I. We've done it, you, Jim, and I. We've done it with Christian. We've done it with Hercom. We've done it, scattered across the company, across the country at this point in time. Is there one piece of equipment or like advice during those deliveries that you think has proved the most beneficial to you to be able to use?
I mean, for sure the wagon, whether it's a wagon or a dolly or something like that. I remember in the early days when I was like an intern or whatever, and I was taking a lot of deliveries during that time. We didn't have a wagon or anything like offered on the site. So, I mean, it would literally be, you've been there. You're just lugging around 3-4 catering bags full of food. Don't know where you're going, just like hoping you get there without dropping everything. So, just like literally taking the pressure off yourself and getting a wagon or a dolly to strap up those bags in and transport them, I think is golden. That's as far as equipment, but as far as communication, as far as another tip, I would just say communication. Obviously, it doesn't happen a lot when we're taking the deliveries. We kind of know what we're doing. If we need to get in contact with driver support just to like find the drop-off or something, we certainly can do that. But communication seems to be the deal breaker in most deliveries for drivers. Just keeping that, I guess you could call it a diamond of communication, right? You got your driver, deliver that, the customer, and the restaurant. As long as that diamond of communication is happening.
Okay. I was thinking triangle. That's certainly a diamond.
Yeah. Yep. You need the 4 points there. 4 points there. So I would say as long as you keep that communication systems open, even if things go wrong, we'll have the documentation in place to where it won't come back on you as a driver.
Yeah. We've talked about communication on this platform.
Plenty.
Probably every single sit down we've possibly had, whether it's a restaurant, catering manager, driver, you name it. I think something that I've received in terms of like YouTube comments and stuff like that is when like we took a Red Robin delivery for our Christmas party at the end of last year, beginning of this year, whichever it was.
Yep.
And some of the comments I got were like, oh, look at these guys. They're trying to just sell bags all the time and then they don't use them themselves. And I was like, dude, like, do you see these boxes?
Time and place,
If you've taken a Red Robin delivery or you've taken an Old Carolina barbecue delivery or like even a BB Bop delivery, they fit pretty well, but not super well. Like, it's pretty obvious that the bags are necessary and needed when able to be used. Like, I don't know how to convey that point any more than I have.
Yeah. You kind of just hammered it home. Like, you know when you're taking the delivery, whether A, it's going to fit in the bags, or B, it's needed, right? So, those huge boxes, the cardboard boxes, they usually have like the aluminum pans in them already, or, Red Robin, they just individually wrap the burgers themselves. Yes, if you can fit them in the bags, that's ideal. It keeps the temperature perfectly where it's at. But those boxes and the aluminum are designed to keep the food at a certain temperature while you're transporting it itself. So, yeah, you once you show up to the restaurant, you kind of get a feel for whether those bags are going to be absolutely needed. Obviously, even if they're kind of needed, you should be using them. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I wondered what your take was on that, because like it was that Red Robin post specifically, and then I think we're releasing Pew's Old Carolina barbecue delivery today.
Yep.
What was one of the comments? Someone said like something about like no utensils being placed or anything like that, and it was something I literally responded. I was like, oh, that's a great catch, because like during the editing and recording and even being on the delivery, I didn't even notice it or even think about it. But when we got to the birthday party, I guess you didn't even go on that delivery. That was me and Derek did that on the weekend.
Right.
It was a 90th birthday party for this old gentleman, and his whole family was there. We got there. They're all in the garage. They got a 90th birthday party cake set up on a table. They walk us inside, and they already had everything like laid out. They had like forks, spoons, utensils, and everything. And then they're just like, yeah, just put all the food on our counter. And realistically, for the video itself, I was like, Derek, like, can you just line everything up a little bit nice? Because when we got there, they were like, yeah, just set it down and we'll take care of it.
Right.
And I was like, well,
for content.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. I was like, hey, come on, like, I'm not wasting this trip.
Yep.
Like, I gotta get a little extra footage. Got to get him doing his thing. So I was like, no, like, give us a second, we'll take care of you. But I guess like I don't even know if I have a question there. I just thought it was interesting that like, even when we're doing things minutely different from like what we represent our standards as, drivers are really taking notice of that, like even when we don't do it specifically.
I think that's a great thing though. I think it just shows our drivers are in tune of, you know, what the delivery process should look like. They're keeping an eye out for making sure all the utensils are lined up exactly how they should be, whether the restaurant's even providing them in the first place or not. We're getting a lot of comments about that, a lot of discussion around that. I think it just shows, you know, we have a fleet of drivers that are professional and ready to help. I don't think that's a bad thing whatsoever.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, it was so wild too. He commented that, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess he is right there. We didn't have.
They had them, just not the shot.
Well, that was the thing though. Like I had to like run back through my brain. I was like, wait, did they give us the utensils? Did we not put them down? Like, did they already have them there? I like couldn't even remember like what that scenario actually was, if they were given to us or not. So it was just like an interesting comment to kind of think about.
I mean, to the drivers out there, please always comment. Let us know what's missing, what could be better, how we can make that setup even better. That's what we're looking for. We're looking to build a community around these posts and really, you know, drive engagement as far as, you know, just like I said, building that community. So.
Yeah, and then like in the terms of like the would you take a delivery videos we've been posting and stuff like that, obviously like you said, like the purpose of those for us specifically is like the engagement piece. Like we want drivers to say, yeah, no brainer, I take this delivery. And then we also want the other side. Like if that delivery makes 0 cents monetarily to take or due to the mileage or due to the food costs, let us know, because in our regard, that also gives us feedback to present to the restaurant brands and stuff like that and be like, hey, this is the feedback from our drivers. Here's the statistics of your deliveries that are being taken or aren't being taken. The proof is in the pudding. Like these are the deliveries that work and get delivered, and these are the deliveries our drivers want.
100%. Yeah. It's important for drivers to have a standard, I guess, right? I mean, you know when you're out on the road whether a delivery is going to be worth it for you or not as a driver, and you know, being able for us to be able to go back, like you said, to restaurants and show them like, hey, like there is a price point, there is a mileage point to where these deliveries just are not worth it for a driver anymore, whether they're being taken out of a city and you know they can't catch an on-demand delivery on the way back, or you know they could be making 5 on-demand deliveries during that, you know, 2 deliveries that we have offering them for catering orders, but maybe these 2 the customer didn't tip or whatever it may be, and now that's not worth it for them. They'd rather get off our platform and go drive, you know, those on-demand deliveries. So just knowing your price points, knowing what's worth it to you as a driver, especially while you're multi-apping, I mean, it's just only smart to do.
Yeah, the multi-apping of the world is always an interesting place to be. I think I don't know. I think in terms of the content, I think you and I we've been grinding it out. I mean, we just went to Columbus a couple weeks ago. We're planning a trip to Philadelphia here at the end of the month. We were talking about where we're going to be in Vegas in May, and then Chicago, and then kind of garnering all this content around those trips to make those trips even more worthwhile. Something I thought maybe you could do for me, and maybe us specifically, something I know I've voiced internally, and maybe I'll let externally expose it a little bit as well, in terms of driver spotlights.
Yeah.
Showcasing drivers on our platform, the time they've spent, the success they've had, and then also their time in the gig economy, how they came into it, why they're still in it, and why it's beneficial to them. We want to highlight that.
We do.
We want to showcase your journey. We want to talk about your story, but we have to be able to
we need to find the drivers.
Find people that want to convey that message with us.
Right.
So would you just maybe give a little message to the drivers out there and let them know how to reach out to us, get in contact with us if they want to be part of the driver spotlight? this is what we want to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, kind of like you said, we are looking to travel. We will come to you. So I guess this is a PSA to DeliverThat drivers across the nation, right? We were willing to come to you. We want to spotlight you on our driver spotlight series. We want to get to know you, see how your time on the platform's been, what we can do to continue your growth on the platform, everything like that. We will come to you. We just want to have a nice casual conversation with you like we are right now. It's not going to be anything too in-depth. Even if you're camera shy, we will make it work. I'm not the best on camera, but we make it work. Yeah, please. We will be able to, like I said, we'll come to you. Before we come, we'll send out an email. If we know we're going to be in a specific city,
Yeah.
we'll send out an email. Just go ahead and reply to that email. If we have a form on it, fill out the form, just show your interest, and we'll be able to meet up. If you're not in the city and you want us to come to your city, hit us up on socials. Send us an email at marketing@ideliverthat.com. We're willing to work with you, to come with you. I know big initiative this year is trying to do all of these interviews in person. Last couple of years, we've been doing them, via Skype calls, Zoom calls, whatever, and they're fine, they're great, they work out, but you just don't get that connection that you get face to face. So, Driver Nation, please let us spotlight you.
Nice. I like it. Dang, you said something there in that tangent of things that I had a quick comment on, and I completely lost it when you ended it with that electric closing. Electric closing. I'm trying to think what you said. Talking about going to their cities, going to the outreach. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Also, something that we would like drivers to take initiative on, the Take a Delivery series.
Yes.
We did, I think, Tammy.
Yep,
Tammy is the driver that did one for us.
Mm-hmm.
Katya sent one in. We need to revamp that one a little bit based on the videos that were sent back in. But the Take a Delivery series, we've now released a couple of them, I think, and they'll be coming out week over week moving forward. But if any driver sees those out there, wants to recreate them with any partner, any brand, we'd love their help. Yeah. Obviously, I think we found out that it works best if you are able to have somebody tail you on the deliveries. That is the one issue I presented to some drivers. It's tough to do it by yourself.
But at the same time, you can capture, certain parts of the delivery that work out. There's so many influencers these days. I'm not saying you have to do this, but people can set up a tripod a couple feet behind their car and get those shots of, people unloading whatsoever. So you don't necessarily need a second person with you. You can always go the tripod route if you wanted to, or, just get the first person clips as well. But yeah, user generated content, driver created content, is all helpful to us because it's just less of a lift on our end, right? We're able to produce that content plus more content on top of that. So
yeah, you mentioned the influencer world of things. Obviously, we've worked with UDM in the past. We have a pretty good relationship with Nola Grind down there in New Orleans. We've talked to Pedro out in St. Louis. We talked to your driver Mike in Pittsburgh and things of that. Do you have any interest in navigating relationships like that moving forward, or do you see a window of opportunity where it makes sense to partner with influencers like that?
I think it does. Selfishly for DeliverThat, obviously it gets our name out there a little bit more, but, just showcasing the top tier drivers, right? They have these large platforms for a reason. They do a fantastic job on the deliveries. They know how to, manage the app. They know how to make the platform work for them. So just showcasing that, just the strategizing and the brain power it takes to not just be a driver on the platform, but to really make the platform work for you. So I think there definitely is some avenues that we could continue to go down that route. I know we can cut this, but we ran into some troubles, just some feedback from our fleet when we were spotlighting those influencers.
Oh yeah, no, heavily, I don't mind talking about that. I think there was everyone was saying now we're just feeding them deliveries,
right?
Which I think is categorically just not true. I think I talked to Nola Grind about it. I talked to UDM about it. Your driver Mike even some of those drivers we had on the spotlight, and like your driver Mike, I don't even necessarily know that he's that active on our platform
Right,
anymore.
right.
I know UDM is still very active on our platform. Nola's very active, like almost he goes live. He was live on YouTube like last Wednesday or Thursday and hopped in his live.
That's
I was
awesome.
like, "What's up, dude?" I think he was on one DeliverThat delivery and then other platforms as well. So like, it just comes and goes, and we just, like you said, we reached out to those individuals because of the platform they already had,
Right.
and to spotlight their relationship while taking catering deliveries. It wasn't necessarily about like promoting our platform through them taking their deliveries or
Right.
like force feeding our content through them.
Right. Exactly. We were just, it was just a partnership. It was like the definition of a
And
partnership.
it wasn't even like a part. It wasn't.
It wasn't official.
It wasn't a monetary partnership ever.
Yeah, no. It was just, they were interested in helping us out, and B, using our platform to expand their platform, and vice versa. We were interested in expanding our audience and our platform through their channels. So
Yeah. I mean, I'm always down. I know I've talked to your driver Mike a handful of times since then. I think Darian just went on UDM's. He did a. I don't know if it was necessarily.
it's very quick. I saw that.
It wasn't
just a
necessarily
quick
a live show, but
No.
it was like I think it was behind a paywall. He has like a Patreon or like a subscriber platform that people pay for to get access to videos. But he went on that I think a week or two ago. So yeah, check out. I think it's called the Gig Work Podcast. I don't know. I'd hate to get that wrong, but UDM, he's still active out there, posting stuff all the time. And I think, something else I wanted to touch on that we just spoke about this morning, and we got the results for that will be published. I think by the time this comes out, these will have been published a few Fridays back. The monthly setup picture contest. The entries are great.
Love it.
We have a lot of consistent participants.
We do.
But we need some new participants.
We very much do.
We need some new participants. We need some new blood. Thousands of deliveries a day. Thousands of setup pictures being taken. We understand not all scenarios are equal. The layout isn't great. The break room's messy.
Yep.
The lighting sucks. What have you. But we need more submissions.
We need more submissions. And why would you not submit? It's literally you just fill out a quick form after you take a delivery, submit your photo, and you have a chance to win cash and deliver that gear.
$200.
$200.
$100.
Up to 200?
200 is the highest. First place, $100 second and third, 50 for fourth and fifth. You get shirts, you get gear, you get bags.
Just for doing your job and submitting a delivery. We know you're going out there and you're taking your time on all your setups and making them look pretty anyway. So why not just snap one more picture of that and send it on over to the setup contest?
Yeah, and something I think we've talked about a little bit too is like, do we need to up the ante? Like, is it not incentive enough to submit the pictures? So I think maybe we just need to get a little feedback.
Maybe, yeah. If you have feedback, if you're on that precipice and you're like, man, maybe this is worth my time, but $200, maybe I can make $200 elsewhere. I don't know where else you're making $200 that easily, but if you do, let me know. New homeowner. But yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't want to participate in it. It doesn't even have to be something that you're submitting on every delivery. Like you said, you know time or place, when that drop off is pristine, and when you're going to get that right picture with the lighting and everything like that. So if you have a good setup, send it on over, win some cash, win some gear, win some bags. Everyone's happy.
Everyone is happy. Yeah, and I think, I mean, I love going through those pictures. I know we just went through a handful of them this morning to kind of pick out who we're going to vote on and stuff like that. So it's always fun to see the driver engagement, interaction,
for sure,
and participation in that contest, and allowing us to kind of promote these brands and their interaction on our platform.
100%. Yeah, and the drivers that are consistent, they're consistent for a reason. It's because they are getting that extra cash, that extra.
Yeah, right. I would agree with that. Once they've won one time, we see them start to submit way more and more.
I think it was Jimmy. We had him on the spotlight, and he was talking about that, right? Jimmy out in Los Angeles. He's like, why would I not? It's just an extra $200. It's a bill that month. You're just getting paid. So
yeah, I think Hornbeck, who's been a driver on our platform for 6 years, 7 years at this point. He's been an entrant like 5 in a row.
Yeah, has his dad, uncle now submitting as well. I don't know the relationship
Yeah, I'm
off
not
the top
sure.
of my head, but yeah, has a family member that's constantly submitting in the setup contest now too. So yeah, I just, like I said,
We just want to see some new names.
want to see some new names. We know you're out there. We know you're doing a great job on every single delivery. Let us see them.
Yeah. I appreciate that sentiment and allowing us to express that message out there to the people and out to the drivers watching out there. Do you want to do a little this or that?
Let's do it.
Okay. Let me see what I can come up with off the top of my head. I might have to pull the phone out to see what I got. I think something that Jim and I discussed during our Meet the Team that I think might be interesting for you. Do you prefer ranch or blue cheese?
Ranch, not even a question. I'm not a blue cheese guy. The crumble, the dressing, don't like any of it. Ranch all the way. I could put ranch on anything.
And when you say anything, like, are you like, obviously wings,
Right?
that goes without being said, but we're talking pizza. Are you a ranch and pizza guy?
Absolutely. Ranch on pizza. You have like a little, caterings. You have that little vegetable medley. I'm putting ranch all over those carrots and celery, everything like that. Yeah, anything salty, I think you could put ranch on, and it just makes it better.
In terms of like a snack, would you prefer a goldfish or a Cheez-It?
That's a great question. I think I'm going to go Cheez-It. Mainly for the extra toasty Cheez-Its. Those are one of my favorite snacks. But the regular cheddar extra blast goldfish,
Flavor blast.
flavor blasted, those are top tier. If you can find the mixed bag of those and the pretzel goldfish, you got something going.
I didn't know they did that.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And this has nothing to do with it. Like, if you get Chex Mix, like a bag of Chex Mix, what's your favorite piece in the Chex Mix?
The little rye bread.
Oh yeah,
The bread.
There's
never enough of them.
And you know what I'll say too that's underrated? Like, most people, like, this is why I asked, because like some people will be like, why are the pretzels in there? I won't eat the pretzels.
Oh.
I love the pretzels.
Yeah.
A good change up.
Mm-hmm.
The little bread sticks.
Yeah. Amazing.
Great. I chomp them one by one.
On the little,
the
I know
little
what you're talking
nubs.
about. Yeah.
My favorite piece in the Chex Mix, though, it's similar to like a Dorito that has all the flavoring on it. The little Chex that are like black.
Yeah.
Because they have all the flavoring
All the
in
pepper, all the
them. Oh man.
Yeah, those are elite.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. What else do we got? How about this one? In terms of like dessert, we're talking ice cream, we're talking cake. Maybe not so much like cookies, but it'll make a little more sense once I ask. Vanilla or chocolate?
Chocolate. I can go both, but I have a sweet tooth, and chocolate is my vice. I love anything chocolate. So brownies, cake, cookies, double chunk chocolate cookies, all of it.
Boom. Yeah, I'm the same way. But vanilla cake for some reason does it for me.
I will agree with that.
Vanilla birthday cake does the job for me.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I like so my favorite birthday cake is a red velvet, which I know is technically just chocolate, but it's red. That's what people say. I don't really taste it that often. I had no idea
that was chocolate.
Yeah, people just say that red velvet is just like a chocolate flavoring, and they just dye it red. But the cream cheese you get with the Yeah.
Appetizer at a restaurant.
Okay.
Would you rather have chips and salsa or bread and butter?
Ooh.
I guess we'll say free appetizer, because that's usually something that
is true. That is true. Man. I think I got to go chips and salsa. You can't go wrong with bread and butter, but chips and salsa, if you get it right, if the restaurant gets it right, they have, a nice spicy salsa. The chips are salted with a nice like lime salt or something like that. Can't beat it. it is frightening. You see it all over Twitter these days, I think. X, whatever you want to call it.
X, the everything app.
The everything app. You see it a lot these days on there. The comparison, it's not something you really think about. It's like a no duh, but it's something that you don't really think about until you see it laid out. Is all it takes is 4 chips to make a whole tortilla. So every time you have 4 tortilla chips, you're having an entire like tortilla, which is a lot to think about. But
can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I've never revealed this publicly. I don't know if I even want anyone to know this about me, but I love bread, like in general, like rolls.
Oh yeah.
Anything of that nature. If we have like taco night, or like if my family has it, whoever, just myself. First of all, I get the little tortillas.
Right. Yeah. The corn, the taco tortillas.
The little ones.
Yeah.
I'll eat like 3 or 4 tacos, and then I'll go back after and put like 4 tortillas in the microwave and heat them up and just eat the tortillas.
It's fire. It's fire.
It's so good. I could eat a whole pack of them, no problem.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, I was quite the picky eater growing up. So I mean, we would go out to like a Mexican restaurant, and I would get like chicken nuggets and then like just like 3 warm tortillas. Like that was my dinner. And like even now, like Chipotle, when I go to Chipotle, every single time I get a tortilla on the side. Just munch on the tortilla.
Dude, that's another weird thing I do, dude. I will get like a double wrap burrito.
Yep.
Oh man, dude, I'm so weird. I just thought of another example too. But sometimes at Chipotle, I'll get a double wrap burrito and I'll eat like half the burrito, and then I'll just scoop the rest of the meat and rice and cheese and everything out, and I'll just eat the tortilla.
Yeah. Don't blame me there one bit.
And it's the same. This is another Papa Euros. They got the Euros.
Mm-hmm.
They pack that meat in there.
Yep.
I will eat all of the Euro meat with a fork, and then just eat the
something about it. Yeah, something about the bread.
Yep. I don't even know what you call it. It's not a tortilla. It's like a pita.
I was gonna say a pita. Yeah,
a pita bread. I'll just eat the pita after.
I can't say I blame you. I can't say I blame you. Yeah. Something about the bread. It's in a similar vein, what I'll do is I'll order a bowl. Well, I'll get a tortilla in the bottom of the bowl, have my bowl built out on top of that, eat like 75% of the components of the burrito, and then wrap it up. So then you have like a lot of tortilla.
Oh yeah, you have like the second burrito afterwards. Yeah. I know folks that have done that as well. Man, I think I'm excited for the rest of this year.
I am too.
I think we got a lot of trips planned.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of content planned. And it's going to be interesting to see where this is at the end of 2025.
100%. Yeah, it's a big year for obviously DeliverThat as a whole, but for our department as well. Big year to.
We're kind of like we're like a Sam Darnold prove it contract.
We are, yeah. We're on a prove it contract right now, and sky's the limit. If we absolutely ball out, sky's the limit.
Yeah. Like a Justin Jefferson prove it contract.
Right.
Or like a Jamar Chase.
Yeah, Chase.
We said we don't want to re-sign right now. We'll come back next year and we're gonna make you pay.
We're gonna win the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
And make you pay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think there's definitely a fire under both of us right now. Reinvigorated, ready to see where exactly this department can be in a year's time, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm pumped as well, man. It's gonna be a hell of a year.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.